In today's episode, you ask the questions, we give you the answers. Morning routines are so important to your success. Stay tuned and listen to mine.
Welcome to this edition of Peak Performance Podcast with your host, Thor Conklin. Thor will be sharing the necessary tools, strategies, and psychology you'll need to become a peak performer in any area of your life or business.
Thor Conklin here. We give you the tricks, the tips, the tools, the strategies, the technology, and the psychology peak performers use in order to get more done and execute at the highest level. If you know what to do but struggle with getting it all done, or simply want to raise your game and get more done, sit back and enjoy. This podcast is for you. Today's question comes in from
Danny in Sydney, Australia. Hi, Danny.
Very cool.
Danny wants to know, you talk about your routines, and what does the first hour of your day look like?
Well, first of all, Danny, thanks for writing in the question. I love this listener. He actually sent an email and asked to, or had some suggestions that I actually liked, and I implemented some of them. So thank you. Keep those questions coming in, or those comments coming in.
Danny, I'm going to send him to a class on how to not say every other word. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, let's get at it.
Okay. My gosh.
Here's my first part of the morning. My alarm is set at 4:59 a.m. That does not mean I wake up every single day, but I try to do that. And the secret to that is getting to bed on time. One of my core principles that I'll talk a little bit about is the bedroom. Bedroom is meant for two things and two things only: for sleeping and adult activities. Not reading, not TV, not doing anything else. You want to train your body. As soon as you hit that pillow, you are out. And you can do that. And you need to do that in order to get a good night's rest. So, first of all, up early. Then I start my day with what I call an early morning success ritual, an EMSR. And this entails an audio program that I put together with my voice put to music. And what that looks like is it starts off slowly. Obviously, I'm getting out of bed. I'm just kind of getting things started. But it talks about, hey stud, good morning. Welcome to a new day. And as I'm just into the bathroom, brushing my teeth, making my coffee, it's just it's talking to me, talking about the day that's coming up. And the music here is kind of starting off slow, and then it builds. The next section, this is about a 28-minute routine that I do. Now, it might sound a little long, but again, you're kind of getting your coffee done. I'm in the bathroom. I'm weighing myself. The first part starts off with gratitude. And I have this very nice, slow music going, instrumental. And I'm just saying what I'm thankful for. I'm praying during this period. I'm taking deep breaths. And it's kind of guiding me as well. It says, take a deep breath now. And then you just follow along. We then move into stretching. I want to get my body activated and start stretching it. As the music starts to build, okay, we start talking about identity. I start talking about my vision for my life. I start talking about the goals. And this whole time I'm kind of stretching. I'm getting going. And then there comes a point that says, okay, now it's time to get up. So I get off the floor, I get done with my stretching, and it's time to write my 3 to 5 top goals of the day. And now the music is really starting to kick up. Okay, Chariots of Fire is one of the songs. The theme to Rocky is one of the songs. And as this is starting to build and build, nothing is going on. No computer's on, no phone. I haven't checked email, nothing. I'm writing out my vision for the day. I'm writing out my goals for the day. Then it goes through a series of questions. What's the one thing you can do today that is going to move you further than any other thing you could do today? What's the one thing you can do to take one step to not solve an issue, but to move yourself one step closer to your ultimate goals? So I've got a list of questions that I'm asking myself, and I'm hearing in my voice. Now, again, you don't need to do this to audio. I've been doing this for 20 years. I start to mix it up. But I found that this audio, especially with the music and the anchors that music has, really starts to form a very strong and energizing morning routine. Now, as I'm coming to the end of my early morning success ritual, or at least the audio part, now I start to sit in front of my computer. I take a quick look at emails to see what's happened over the night. And again, I'm just looking at them briefly just to see if there's any emergencies or anything that's going on, appointments getting canceled, etc. Then the next thing I do is I look at my calendar and I reorganize my calendar for the day. Now, before I went to bed, I did this as well. So really not a lot should change, but you'd be surprised after some emails, some cancellations, some new people that want to get on your calendar, etc. You want to relook at your calendar and get that locked in. Once I lock that calendar in, all I do is simply execute on the calendar. That's it. What's next? Execute. What's next? Execute. Now, what's important here is, and then I'll go back and I'll deal with my email. And I'll actually put in my calendar, check emails, and address them. And then it's simply a question of just running your calendar. A phone call comes in, an email comes in. Do I stop what I'm doing? Absolutely not. It is very difficult to raise me on the phone. Why? Because in my calendar, it doesn't say take random phone calls as they come in. No, I have times where I'm looking at my voicemails and returning emails and voicemails. So I hope that answers what I do during the first hour.
Yeah, it does. And it's interesting because you have addressed two things. One, I want to tell Danny and the audience in general something about you that they may not know and that you probably don't see for yourself because it's you doing it. But you're very quick to embrace a suggestion to add to your morning success ritual. And if you determine that it doesn't benefit you, you're quick to drop it. So for example, there was a time when I knew you that you used to take cold showers as a part of your early morning success ritual, and you liked it.
Well, I don't know if I really loved it.
Well,
but
you liked what it did for you as far as activating your body.
Yes.
And then you switched to stretching, and I think it achieves the same result for you, the cold showers and the stretching. And there may be a point when you go back to cold showers.
Absolutely.
And there may be a point when you stretch and do cold showers.
Yes.
But you will take a suggestion from someone that you respect that gets good results. You'll do what they do. And because you know yourself well, you'll match that with what you know about yourself and determine if it's working for you and either stay with it or drop it.
And I think you got to keep it fresh as well. Sometimes for years I woke up and the first thing I did is I went to the gym.
Right.
Now that doesn't necessarily have to be the first thing in the morning.
Right. Just as something you do during the day.
Exactly. And what works for you?
Well, Danny's got a second part of his question, and that is, what is the daily or regular thing or things that you've done that have benefited you the most?
Wow. We could spend an hour on that. But real quickly, the first thing is, we talked I get to bed early. The second is I always have a notebook by my bed because as I'm thinking, I may wake up in the middle of the night with an idea. I want to capture that, so I'll write that down. I don't go to my computer or my phone because that's going to just kind of wake me out of my sleep. Go to the gym every day. Eat great foods for you, that fuel your body. Sleep. I have to get 8 hours of sleep a day. That's what I need. Asking yourself great questions. You should have a list of great questions that you ask yourself every single day. I don't allow distractions to come into my day. I eliminate as many distractions as possible. I do not have bells and ringers and whistles and all kinds of announcements about emails or tweets or phone calls. I shut all that down. I do not want to be distracted while I'm working on something with that stuff coming in. I always go back to my ultimate success map. I want to make sure that I understand what my ultimate goal is and is what I'm doing now in alignment with that. I do not say yes very easily to things. If you ask me if I'm willing to go, here or there or commit to this meeting, the first thing I do before I open my mouth is I check my calendar. If there's open space, I'm still very slow to commit. I do not want to overcommit myself because it's so easy to have so many things in your calendar that nothing gets done.
I can attest to that, Danny.
But when I do make a commitment and it's on my calendar, I follow through.
I can attest to that too.
The other thing is I've learned how to move before it's perfect or before it's really good. In other words, if I'm working on something and it's just not 100%, I'll start moving. I'll get traction. The first time I started doing this podcast, I was not a great podcaster. I still might not be a great podcaster at this point. But the thing is, I got better. So you've got to start somewhere. So movement, keep moving, moving, moving. Spending time with others. When I'm with other people, I'm not distracted with other things. Phone or when I'm present, I'm present. And the last one is charting and measuring. If you want to make significant advancements in anything, in life and business, you've got to chart your progress. You've got to chart each day where you are. So at my weight, I weigh myself every day. Food, I just started changing that just recently. Now I track what goes in my mouth. As a matter of fact, I have a chart that I call the measuring stick. And I'll chart all kinds of things. If I want to learn how to floss my teeth more, track it. If you want to learn how to, what's another example?
Stretch more. You had to chart your stretching.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I wanted to stretch more, so I put stretching on my chart. So what gets measured gets done. I think that kind of wraps it up for me.
That does wrap it up for you. I think that's what you do in your early morning success ritual and throughout the day that has contributed largely to getting you where you are.
Yeah, and it's real important that what you're doing is you're making progress towards your ultimate vision. If you don't know what your ultimate vision is, stop. Stop right now.
And what I can tell you, Danny, at the end is people who know him well make fun of him to some degree about his level of obsession.
Who makes fun of me?
People make fun of you, dear. And they say that, oh, have you seen Thor with his spreadsheets and his charts and his Excel and his phones and his trend lines and his graphs? But if you listen to Price Pritchett's episode, if you've not already done that, Price talks about obsession and how it's necessary for achievement. And I think that Thor, you illustrate why that's true. I agree with that. I always have thought that. And I think that you illustrate why that's true. You just said you've done this early morning success ritual for 20 years. That's all.
Yeah, and I want to make a point there. Do not get hung up in the system and do not get hung up in just doing that busy work.
True.
So even though I do have a lot of systems and a lot of charts, and these things take very little time. I chart my weight every day, right? What do? Nothing. I stand on the scale, my scale talks to my phone records it, and I have a trend line. I did nothing except stand on it.
True.
So it's got to be quick and it's got to be effective. Do not get bogged down into
the
process. I see
process.
so many people. So my spreadsheets, real simple, very simple. How long does it take me to fill it out? 4 minutes. Don't get bogged down in the process, but have a process that you track and you measure.
Yep. Thank you, Thor. Thank you, Danny. We'll talk to you soon.
Question of the day. Do you have an early morning success ritual? If you don't, when would now be a good time to put it together? Or simply make some tweaks to it. Call to action, schedule in your calendar some time to get that early morning success ritual, complete it, nailed down, tweaked, whatever you need to do with it, and then get it implemented. And that goes on the calendar as well. Thank you for listening today. If you haven't already subscribed to the show, please go to iTunes. After listening to the shows, please leave us a 5-star rating and review so we can reach more people with this information. Please share this episode with family, friends, coworkers, or anyone that could benefit from this information. We've made this really simple. One of the ways you can share is simply go to my Facebook page, Thor Conklin, hit share, and then put it on your timeline. Who knows who might see that information and who you might be able to help along the way. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Thor Conklin. The website is thorconklin.com. Email is info@thorconklin. Send us your questions. Send us your comments. Remember, these episodes are designed to be anywhere between 6 and 35 minutes and to be consumed during dot time, doing other things.
Underwater basket weaving.
Underwater basket weaving.
Cleaning your mirror with vinegar.
I like that.
You like it?
What else? You're going to need some headphones that are waterproof for the underwater basket weaving.
Picking mites out of your chimpanzee's hair.
What if you don't own a chimpanzee?
Well, get one and pick mites out of his hair.
Call to action. Get yourself a chimpanzee. Thanks for listening today, and until tomorrow,
Have an absolutely amazing day.